Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It is Friday, December the 12th. I'm Andrew Gagan. Well, the local market is set to rally this morning with ASX futures up more than 1%. It was a mostly positive session on global markets overnight. The Pan-European Stock 600 index rising 0.7% as investors welcomed the US Federal Reserve's rate cut. But on Wall Street, tech stocks dragged, the Nasdaq lower. However, the Dow rallied to a record high led by the materials and financial sectors. And the S&P 500 recovered to also close at a new record. Investors also contemplating the Fed's outlook, which was less hawkish than the market had expected. Oracle shares fell heavily after its quarterly forecast fell short of analyst estimates, and it warned that annual spending would run $15 billion higher than previously planned, stoking fears that its AI cloud play is burning cash faster than generating profit. Oracle dragged other tech names lower, including Nvidia and Broadcom, ahead of its earnings report after the closing bell. Adobe reported after the bell in the previous session and forecast fiscal 26 revenue and profit above Wall Street expectations, signalling strong demand for the Photoshop maker's design tools. Chip design software provider Synopsys beat analyst estimates for fourth quarter revenue, driven by strong demand for its chip design tools, sending its shares higher. Walt Disney shares rose after the company announced a $1 billion equity investment in OpenAI. And shares of US drug maker Eli Lilly rose after revealing that its late-stage trial showed its next-generation experimental obesity drug helped patients lose weight. Well, the number of Americans filing jobless claims rose to 236,000 last week, the most in nearly 4.5 years, although claims data tends to be volatile around this time of year. The larger-than-expected increase reversed the sharp drop in the prior week, which had pushed filings to a 3-year low. The Swiss National Bank has left its policy rate unchanged at 0% as widely expected. It noted that inflation had been slightly lower than forecast, but said that in the medium term, inflationary pressure is virtually unchanged compared to the September assessment. US Treasury yields dipped for a second straight session as investors digested the Fed's rate decision. The central bank saying it would begin buying short-dated government bonds to help manage market liquidity levels to ensure the central bank retains firm control over its interest rate target system, which is earlier and larger than the market had expected. The US 10-year yield falling to 4.14%, the 2-year down close to 4 basis points to 3.52%, and the US dollar has hit multi-month lows against the euro, Swiss franc and sterling. The Aussie dollar is trading at 66.6 US cents. Oil prices have fallen as investors shift their focus back to Russia-Ukraine peace talks and the US seizure of a sanctioned oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. Brent crude futures at around $61 a barrel. Copper has surged to a new record, up 3% to $11,900 a tonne in London trade. Iron ore rose almost 1% to $104 a tonne. And gold has hit its highest level in more than a month after the Fed's quarter-point rate cut pushed the dollar lower. Spot gold up 1% to $4,270 an ounce. And silver rising to another record. Spot silver up some 4% to $64 an ounce. And Bitcoin has fallen below, well, just below 93,000 US dollars. Well, there's no significant economic data today, while on the corporate calendar, NAB holds its AGM. That is your day ahead. We'll see you again next week.